It is something that most, if not all of us, have had to deal with at one point or another in our lives. Coping with the loss of a loved one.
Yeah, and you already know it can be difficult, and oftentimes people say it feels like a lonely journey. That's prompted one man to come up with a unique way for his community to honor lost loved ones together. If you've ever lost a loved one, their story is your story. Some here lost a grandparent, a spouse, some even a child.
Until you've lost someone close to you, you can't truly understand what it's like.
In many cases, old age was to blame. For a few, it was a car accident. There are a lot of people because of cancer. A lot. And while everyone's story is personal, they all share in grief.
Each of us knows grief firsthand. And whether
Yet Godwin Dixon noticed something interesting. When people lose a loved one, they often feel alone.
I feel like other people can't relate, or like it's harder on me than it is others.
And so that's how this started.
You may hear a little something in there.
Okay.
And they'll tell you at the end of the service when to release them.
We come together to celebrate the lives of our loved ones and to support each other in our journeys of grief.
Godwin runs a hospice. A few years ago, he came up with the idea of bringing strangers who have lost loved ones together. Each person is given a box. He tells them that box represents the person they've lost, and then at the end of the service...
And when you're ready, you may release your butterflies.
Watch what happens. Everywhere you look, butterflies. And all of a sudden, those who felt alone can see they're not.
It's like we're all a family, honestly, a family that, we may not know each other, but, we all have that one thing in common, and that's grief.
Many times when somebody has lost a loved one, nobody knows what to say to them, and they feel isolated, and they do feel alone. And so being around other people who are in that same grief journey can be very, very helpful. And they realize at a time like this, they're not alone, that there's a lot of people there in support for them.
Certainly a touching event, and so fitting to use a butterfly, a beautiful creature that, although it flies away so quickly, those who catch a glimpse of it feel honored to have been in its presence, if only for a short time.
Just for a little bit. Well, there is a similar event on Delmarva this weekend, which also uses butterflies, but specifically as a symbol of hope. Hope for families that have been touched by cancer. Hope that one day the devastating disease will be a thing of the past.
Joining us today to tell us more about Wings of Hope is event coordinator Lily Gosnear. Lily, thank you for joining us on the show. So why did you get involved with Wings of Hope?
Well, it started off more getting involved with the cancer support community. We are a international organization, but with local chapters all over, and the Delaware office is where I am, and we have an office in each county. Mm-hmm. So I'm in the Sussex County office, and when we moved to Delaware, my parents moved with us, and my mom is a breast cancer survivor. So I was trying to find resources for her in the area, and ended up seeing an ad for then called the Wellness Community for Tai Chi classes in Sussex County. So took her over there, and she instantly found an understanding group. Yeah. She has a slight language barrier, and it did not impede her at all. These are people who understand what they're going through. They understand what she was going through because they went through it themselves. So it's amazing how much communication you can have without even using words.
Wow.
And that's what's great about the cancer support community in general, is that anyone who's been impacted by cancer can walk in our door and feel connected and feel like they are not alone.
Now, this is the 4th year for the event.
It is.
How about that? So has it changed much in the time gone by?
It has grown by leaps and bounds. Our first year was in the Cape Henlopen High School in the courtyard, and it was 150 people, and every event is touching, but just to see it grow as it is, we had over 700 people last year. It is no less intimate. There's a moment, as in that clip, where they were saying how you all feel together, and right. That's how it is when those butterflies are released. We have 250 live monarch butterflies that we release, and I like to say that for that moment, all of the hearts are beating as one, and it's very emotional in a positive way. It's majestic, it's beautiful, it's a great thing to be a part of.
It's more of a celebration of life.
Absolutely, because there's a lot to celebrate. There's so many survivors are the biggest group right now growing in the cancer community. And survivors are living longer and longer. Now not everyone wins that battle, but we can also celebrate the lives that the time that they shared with us while they were with us. So
So why the butterfly?
Well, there's a lot of symbolism in butterflies. There's the whole idea of metamorphosis and rejuvenation, and many people, you know, when our participants come to us, we've heard from so many that the process of going through a cancer treatment is brutal, but they come out of it stronger, a different person, someone sometimes that they like better, you know. And same as a butterfly goes through so much in the course of its life cycle that it just comes out, you know, after all that time in the cocoon, being this other creature than it started off with.
And it's free and beautiful.
Wow.
All right, so you have the butterfly release, which is beautiful, but it's not just the release. There are other things going on during this event, right?
There's a lot of things. We have all types of entertainment, a drumming circle. If anyone's never seen that, it's a great opportunity just to get a taste of it. We have a Tai Chi demonstration. The Sussex County Bookmobile will be there with story time for kids. We have all types of activities provided by local businesses. We have vendors selling nature-related goods. And we have, you know, beyond the live butterflies, we also have seeded butterflies that we sell. I brought a couple to show. And they are embedded with wildflower seeds, so people can purchase them, and they're displayed at the event where we can write down the name of a loved one they want to honor or remember. And then afterwards they take it home and plant it, and they will have a flower pot full of wildflowers.
Wow. All right, it's Wings of Hope, and if you would like to attend, it's Saturday, September 13th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Medical Arts Building on Route 24 in Rehoboth. There's a number you can call for more information, 302-645-9150. Lily, thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful having you.
And if you would like more information on Wings of Hope or to get your own seeded butterfly cut out for the event, go to WBOC.com and click on our picture at the top of the page.
I think quite probably all of us have been impacted by cancer one way or another. And just as inspiring as it is to see communities come together to support those touched by cancer, it's also refreshing to hear of breakthroughs in the fight against cancer.
One of the more recent developments deals with skin cancer. This year, nearly 5 million people will be treated for the disease. Many more will have biopsies to see if suspicious moles are cancerous.
And that's where one professor thinks that he can make a big difference in skin cancer detection.
Another day. Okay, so for outside,
spend a day on the job with Lori McGary,
we need to open this up.
and you'll see why the realtor was routinely exposed to the sun's most harmful rays.
I had a freckle, and it started to grow.
A biopsy revealed
it is melanoma, and it is malignant, and it has spread.
But after surgery on her leg,
I think it was about a quarter size.
Lori calls this her Victory Z.
I'd much rather have a scar than lose my life or lose a leg or something.
So I grew up on the beach.
Dr. James Tunnell has lost count of his biopsies.
I get them all the time.
The professor knows he could one day face Lori's same diagnosis.
I have family history of melanoma.
The threat of skin cancer was a catalyst.
This small pin-looking device.
In the creation of this probe.
It looks like little harmless rays of light.
Harmless.
You can see there's a little bit of light coming out of the end of this here.
But illuminating.
This device allows you to have a diagnosis without having to take a biopsy.
Here's a melanoma, the most deadly form of skin cancer. Diagnosing one can be tricky.
So 20 biopsies for every one melanoma that's found. And there are some studies that say it's even up to 50 to 1.
Dr. Tunnell says the screening tool could eliminate the need for unnecessary biopsies.
The whole measurement takes just a few seconds.
Instead of removing the skin lesion, this light would simply shine over it.
It basically measures absorption of different types of proteins.
The computer system would then analyze changes to the way the light interacts with the skin tissue.
This particular measurement actually can measure oxygen consumption.
A recent study was revealing
it showed us that we could diagnose melanoma with perfect accuracy.
Lori's incision to remove a melanoma tumor is still healing.
With vanity and everything, people do get worried about scars, and they hate pain, and they don't want any stitches.
All reasons why she's hoping the next time a doctor orders a biopsy, a beam of light, not a knife, will help make the diagnosis.
I think it's going to make a big difference.
So, the next step in getting the screening tool in doctors' offices is a larger study of its effectiveness.
Well, if you're one of the lucky ones who haven't been impacted by cancer, maybe you or a loved one has suffered from some other medical scare, say a stroke. We'll learn more about devices that are making life easier for stroke patients by reprogramming their brain.
And a little bit later on, women today are almost reprogramming the way we do business. Thousands are leaving the workforce to start their own company. We're going to share their secrets to success. Plus, find out how you can get help launching your entrepreneurial idea. Delmarva Life will be right back.